That was something I was not expecting to share. Today, I'm gonna answer all of your questions. How do I maintain my weight loss? How long does aquafaba last in the fridge? What do I do for a living?
Some people have asked you about my workouts.
Why do I do swaps when we're doing the recipe reviews? And is that fair to the cookbook artists?
Why do I call you Woolie?
Who am I watching on YouTube?
Stick around to hear the answers.
Good morning.
Clear the foreground for you. Welcome to the channel. I'm Jeremy, and here we focus on plant-based goodness. Ephraim's getting ready upstairs. Typically that means cookbook reviews, my own recipes, and then just videos on general health and stuff. Today we're gonna do things a little bit differently. I see a lot of reoccurring questions in the comments, so I thought it'd be just good to throw them all into one video and see if that's helpful for people too. So that's what today's video is. It's very different. We haven't done something like this on the channel before, so you'll have to let me know if you like this or you hate it completely and never want to see it again. Not that I want you to stop asking questions in the comments. I love it. In fact, I'd like to give a little shout out to some people who've said hi to us in the comments before.
Kay from Arkansas, Jacko from South Africa, Charmaine from the Bahamas, Sonia from Burbank, California, Charm from Southeast France, Marcy from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, and Christy from Keller, Fort Worth, Texas.
And happy birthday to Julie from Michigan!
Julie from Michigan!
From Michigan.
That's not your fault, Julie, I swear.
If you'd like a shout out, all you have to do is let us know who you are and where in the world you're watching from. Here's Ephraim. I'm doing an intro for my questions video.
You're showing off your cup.
You mean my carefully placed cup that you can get in our merch store along with many other items?
I'm not going to do that.
Too late. Thanks for the free setup, Ephraim. Anyway, the link's down below if you wanna support us by getting merch to our store through cups like that or clothing and whatnot. Yeah, so if you would like this kind of video, let us know in the comments down below. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, do so. Because we do stuff like this, but we don't actually usually do stuff like this, but maybe in the future if you like this. But we do other stuff, and hopefully you enjoy that too. Anyway, to the questions.
So I just finished my workout. Some people have asked you about my workouts. So that's something I do every day, Monday to Friday, and on the weekends I just walk a lot. I like to do it first thing in the morning, and usually Ephraim joins me, but he has a late start today, so he's not joining me today. So on days like that, I often do like a HIIT workout, which is high intensity interval training. Sorry, I'm still catching my breath. I don't do as much HIIT as I used to because I'm in weight loss maintenance, but last night we went for Annie's birthday and I got indulgent. And so after a night like that, I feel like I need to do HIIT and sweat it off a little bit. My workouts generally include either like high intensity power yoga with a YouTuber named Sean Vigue, who I really, really love, or I do muscle with like just dumbbells. It's all on YouTube. All my workouts are on YouTube in my living room. I have some dumbbells just because I think I want to keep on focusing on muscle gains. Now that I'm kind of in my weight loss maintenance mode. Oh, look at that little bead of sweat on my forehead. Just racing down my head. So yeah, I use a variety of different YouTubers depending on what I want to work on that day. I just did a workout with Juice and Toya, who are a cute married couple. Another couple I work out with is HasFit. That's what I worked out with the most when I was actively losing my weight. I also designed my own workout that I did that I will put a link to down below. And I'll link to all these other YouTubers in a little section down below too. What do you do for your workout routines? Let us know down in the comments below. And if there's any people that you follow on YouTube that other people could go for. What I like about these people is a lot of them have workouts that meet you where you are. So you don't have to be intimidated if you're a beginner to this or you have some mobility issues or you're a bit older. A lot of these channels that I use have different levels. Now, that's the beautiful thing about exercise is it'll meet you wherever you are, even if it's just walking around your house. Getting up often, getting up and down from the couch several times a day. You don't have to think that it's beyond you, even if you feel incapacitated by whatever challenges you have. There's something you can probably do. And I start my days with workouts because if I didn't, I don't think I'd do them. Just because the days get busy and it's really easy to tell myself that I don't have time for it. And then I also go for a walk in the middle of the day when I can with Rufus. I'm generally working from home most of the time. So if I'm home, I walk Rufus at lunch. If not, wherever I am, I try to go for a walk at lunch. Or if I'm working somewhere in the city, I try to ride my bike there. And then usually I go for a walk with Woolie at night with Rufus again. So that's what I do for my workouts.
Some of you have asked me, how long does aquafaba last in the fridge? First of all, let's see how this stuff's doing. I'll tell you how to figure it out. It's pretty simple. Your nose will tell you, honestly. I'd say if you want to bring it down to a time frame, a week is totally fine. 2 weeks might be fine as well. Give it a smell. If it's starting to smell really gross, just don't use it. It should smell beany. Give a whiff of it when you first put it in the jar in the fridge, see how it smells, and your brain will hopefully remember that smell when you go to check it later on. And if it's really off from that, chances are you need some new stuff. Honestly, if you eat chickpeas every other week, whether you're using canned or you're cooking them yourself, you'll never be in need of aquafaba because you'll always have some. Just don't throw it out. And if you're making your own, if it's really, really liquidy, just cook it down on the stove. So it boils down and reduces a little bit. So it's a little thicker, not super thick. You don't want it to become like a gravy. Have that same basically texture you get when you buy it from the store. So maybe buy a can and check that out, just so you have something to compare it to. And worst case, if you cook it down too much when you're cooking it yourself, you can just add water. That's all you gotta do. What do I do as a human being for a living? I mean, I don't know the answer. It's weird to ask that. Now, what do? I do this? A year ago, I'd probably have exclusively described myself as a filmmaker, and now I'm probably more likely to describe myself as a content creator. Throughout my career, I've mostly worked in the traditional space in film and television on various things. And if you're interested in that kind of stuff, you can go to my other website, which is jeremylalonde.com, where you can find links to how to watch my movies. I've worked on several TV series, and I've also worked as an editor on lots of films and TV series over the years. I do a little bit of everything from writing, producing, directing, editing. I've worked as a teacher at various film schools. So that was my passion for the longest time. And then everything shifted when I went on this weight loss journey and I started sharing my story and getting more comfortable being on camera and all of that kind of stuff, and just really starting to build this community here on the channel with all of you, to the point where how I spend my time is really mixed, 50-50 between my old job in traditional content creation and what I do now here with all of you on the channel. And I'm really excited for the future of this channel and for YouTube in general. I've been increasingly frustrated with the traditional way of making things because there's so many gatekeepers involved that stop you from being able to do the work you want to do, because you just need a lot of money to make projects in the traditional way. And so much of that is out of your control, which is why, for the features I've done anyway, a lot of them are really low budget because it was just a way for me to be able to make those films without people being able to say no to me. And what I love about YouTube is that nobody gets to decide what kind of content I want to make on this channel besides me, and really you, because I listen to you and the feedback you give me, and a lot of that kind of helps me shape what I'm going to do moving forward and what's helpful for you and what's interesting for you. So don't ever hesitate making comments like that and letting us know what kind of stuff you're looking for, because we do listen. I hope you know, a lot of you realize I read the comments, I respond to pretty much every single comment, and I enjoy doing so. I really love connecting with this community. So, I still work in the traditional space. I'm still going to work in the traditional space as far as I can see for the future.
but I'm spending a lot of time here and loving it because I get to connect one-on-one with all of you on a daily basis, on a regular basis. Is it a lot of work? Yeah, it's a lot of work, but I love it. And I really enjoy it, and just kind of the friendships it's brought, the new opportunities it's brought for me, and just being able to see, the future in a different way as I, see where I fit in a traditional space versus where I fit here. So yeah, thanks for coming with me on this journey as well, because it's been really, really awesome and beautiful to have a community of people to hang out with and chat with and make content for. So yeah, if you keep showing up, so will I. Anyway, that turned into a really weird thing. I wasn't expecting to get into that. Anyway, so that's what I do. I guess I answered that question. So I'm still thinking about that last question we just talked about. And I think I'm going to share something I wasn't expecting to share today. I think I accidentally turned my camera off, so I'm not sure how much of that I got. So I got into all of this because I lost half my body weight eating a certain way, moving my body a certain way. And people had a lot of questions and wanted some advice. And so I just thought it was easier to put that stuff into a website or into YouTube, as opposed to having the same conversations over and over again. And it's led to kind of what I'm doing now. But what also happened throughout that process was that because a lot of those conversations I was having with people, so it led to a lot of people losing a significant amount of weight and becoming healthier because of this. But I never really thought about doing anything with that until recently. One of the things I've been thinking about doing, and I honestly don't know where to start, is to start consulting with people and being some kind of a health coach. Now, I'm not a nutritionist. I don't have any kind of licensing or certificates in that. I do have some plant-based cooking certificates through Ruby. But I think it's more of just like someone to be your buddy and a mentor, and to do, I don't even know what it would be, half-hour sessions, bundles of sessions, whatever it is, I don't know. But it's something I've thought a lot about. But I also ask myself, is that something anyone would even be interested in paying for? In addition to what I do here. But I just know that I got a lot of information up here. I have helped people already, and I'd love to do more of that. But also, I'm a human being, and I need to make a living. And so if I'm gonna, do less of the other things I do, or add to what I'm doing, I need to find a way to make it as, part of my living and lifestyle. So I don't know, I'm just throwing that out there, and you can let me know in the comments below if that's something you think is insane or crazy, or how you go about such a thing, and what people would even be interested in paying for such a thing, because I honestly don't know. That was something I was not expecting to share or talk about yet, because it's still ruminating in my head. But you know what? This is a safe space, right? We're all friends. We're all talking about things. So anyway, this video is getting interesting. I don't even know if you like this kind of video. Let me know in the comments down below if you want more of this, of me just like sharing my thoughts and answering questions from time to time. You want me just heating up my lunch? So the question is, why do I do swaps when we're doing the recipe reviews? And is that fair to the cookbook artists? I've answered this in comments. I've also talked about it a little bit in the videos themselves, but I thought it was worth maybe going into a little more detail here, since we're just having a chatty talk today. I don't know, I'm of the opinion that if you buy a cookbook, it becomes yours to do with as you please, to add, to modify. And if someone has bought a cookbook and they don't have all the ingredients, should they just not attempt that recipe in some way? Should it just sit in the shelf and not be able to do anything with it? I like to think that I approach the reviews from the point of view of not only an audience member, someone who's potentially looking to buy this book, but also as someone who creates their own recipes themselves. I like to think that I do a pretty good job pointing out when I don't have the ingredients, that I'm kind of grading it on a curve. So I don't know, I guess when I mention that I don't have all the ingredients right away, it's me telling the audience, hey, I'm making a change here.
that probably will affect the recipe a little bit. So I get surprised when people are so offended. Not a lot of you, most of you aren't. Most of you actually write and say they appreciate the fact that I do swaps. So thank you for doing that, because it's made me feel better about the way I approach these reviews. But I just don't, get why, if I'm mentioning it, it's an issue. Because I could just not mention it. I don't have to be forthcoming with you about every mistake I make and all the challenges we have with some of these dishes. I could just make it look like it's perfect every single time and do what some other people do on other channels, but that's not what I want to do here. I also appreciate how much effort and time these cookbook authors put into books, but I also appreciate how much money they cost for people to buy and how much time they take for people to try these recipes. So I also see it as, me being the protector of your money to some extent, and what you're willing to buy and what you should buy and what you shouldn't buy. But also at the end of the day, it's just the opinions of me and my family. And that's why I like doing these videos with my family, because, first of all, they're fun. It's just a fun thing to do as a family. But also, you're getting 4 very different opinions, from people that have very different tastes. So it's a nice all-around look at a lot of these recipes that I think makes it a bit unique here on YouTube, which I think is what people are responding to. So there's that. How do I maintain my weight loss? That's actually a really big question that has probably multiple answers that I could likely do an entire video like this on, or just an in-depth video on maintaining weight loss, which, may be the best way to do that. Rufus maintains his weight loss by only eating twice a day. Where is he? Hi, Rufus. Hi, Rufus. Hi, buddy. It's not that I want to skip this question. It's just really layered and nuanced and in depth. So my thought would be this. For those that are interested in that topic, let me know specifically below if there's any aspects in particular you're interested in, and also maybe what you've been struggling with or what you're curious about. And then I can do a deeper dive into that, because I feel like I won't be able to do it justice in like this kind of format, the way I'm doing this video. And I don't want to shortchange this answer because it's a big one. And it's something I constantly, that's literally what I'm doing for the rest of my life. So it's not a small thing to discuss.
Don't do that. You're allowed to be tired. It's okay to be tired. The people watching this video are exhausted right now. One of the questions I get asked a lot actually, is why do I call you Woolie? Are you comfortable answering this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just my last name.
It's super uninteresting.
Has wool in it.
Yeah. And that's what people called, you said people have called your family that forever?
Yeah, like my brother's Woolie, my dad and my aunt were Woolie at some point in their lives. Mine is just stuck a really long time.
Yeah. I'd love to know what you thought it meant. Because I think I would only assume that that's like my hand's shaking so much.
I'm so old.
Thank you. I think that would have been my only guess, was like it's associated with the last name. That's why I'm so curious what
Maybe
people
I'm
thought
really
it was.
hairy, but you'll never know.
Well, there's that too, but I didn't know that until later, until we were married on our wedding night.
Well, now you just ruined it. I said maybe.
Oh, shoot.
So another question that I get is, who am I watching on YouTube? I'm going to tell you who I'm watching with the caveat that this is not by any means an exhaustive list, and there's a lot more people on here, particularly people that are in the vegan and plant-based space that probably aren't going to be mentioned just because they're literally not people I've watched in the last couple of days, and so they're not fresh in my history. That's kind of where I drew this from. So, not an exhaustive list, a lot more people that I love, and on another day I would happily mention. So please don't be offended if you're not mentioned here. Also, if anyone that I'm watching is watching this channel, I'm gonna kind of like have a little freak out happy dance because I'm such a big fan of everyone that I'm about to mention on this list. And I'll have this list down in the description below. I'd also love to know if you are watching any of the people on this list, and if there's anyone that you think I should be watching that I'm not. Again, I probably already am. So someone I just recently kind of discovered, and who I'm actually gonna do a live
Q&A with at some point in the near future, this channel, Jamie's Corner. And Jamie is awesome. She's like a self-described Gen Z activist, vegan YouTuber, content creator.
What do you think about eating animals in terms of our environmental footprint?
Really funny and charming, but gets her message across. And so I just reached out to her and asked her if she'd like to chat at some point, and she got back to me right away. So I'm excited to do that shortly. Actually, I might as well mention another person who I just recently connected with. It's Plant-Based Dads. So it's another YouTube channel. And we're going to have a chat at some time in the upcoming weeks. I don't know when yet. We haven't scheduled that. Another person on my list that I have spoken to very recently is Broccoli Mom, who is now a good pal of mine. I love her content. I know a lot of you that follow me, follow her. She's just a breath of fresh air in this space. She's so warm and lovely, and her kids are adorable. Wheezy Waiter, I love him so much. He's such an inspiration to me in this space too, and just like the way he uses humor.
Want to do 4 a.m. wake-ups with me?
No.
Cool. I actually woke up at 3:20 and realized I wasn't going to be able to fall asleep by 4. Even better. My body and brain are stupid.
It really kind of encouraged me to lean into that side of myself and not feel bad about it, especially in this space. If you're not familiar with him, he does these videos where he's basically challenging himself to do things that will make him healthier or a better person in some way. And he didn't start off that way. His videos started off just being funny and silly. But he shifted into that, and I think for the better. His stuff is really fascinating, and I love his wife is in his videos with him, and she's great too. They're just lovely and wonderful, and I'd be shocked if you didn't fall in love with them. Merle O'Neill is another really great plant-based vegan YouTuber who is super, super funny. Isn't necessarily like a healthy version of a vegan plant-based YouTuber. So, don't go into her for that, but very entertaining, very fun. Mythical Kitchen, they are an offshoot of Good Mythical Morning, who I also really, really love. But I really enjoy the Mythical Kitchen cooking series. Not plant-based whatsoever, but super fun and entertaining.
You'll try and hack that pumpkin up. Be safe.
Okay, Grandpa.
Yeah, that's great. Just another 15 to 25 hacks and you got it.
Simnet Nutrition. Derek is a fellow Canadian and vegan plant-based YouTuber. He's someone I would love to interview. I've tried to reach out, but I haven't heard back from him. So I'd love to have a conversation with him because I've followed him for years and gotten a lot of great ideas from him, and I think he's great. So if anyone knows Derek, poke him and tell him to hit up the P-Bay with J guy. Mary's Test Kitchen, which is lovely and awesome. She's another person I would love to interview. So poke her as well for me. I want to try out her tofu for sure. I've been dying to make my own tofu, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to study and steal from her. Ryan Trahan, who is a huge YouTuber, someone that I learned about because of my kids, and is just really a beautiful person and does fun, smart videos that are entertaining to watch. If you have younger kids, they probably know who he is. Mark Rober, who is also a huge, huge YouTuber, super fun, takes kind of like science and makes it cool. He just recently put out this awesome video about octopuses and how smart they are using a maze to show that. And it's funny, like I look at that, and as someone who doesn't eat animals, I watch that and I'm like, how can any person watch this video and see how intelligent these creatures are and then go to a restaurant and order a meal that has octopus in it? Blows my mind. First We Feast. Particularly, I love their Hot Ones videos. As I mentioned already in this video, I come from the traditional world of film and television, and so I work in film, and so the interviews they do with filmmakers and actors and athletes as well are always, I just love the format of that kind of interview, because it's like, I always love an interview when it's more than just the interview, and I feel like that brings out something unique that nobody else does, and I love it. And then last but not least is Justin Rhodes, who I got turned on to because of someone who mentioned that our channel reminded them of their channel. And I really, really adore
that channel now. He posts every single day though. It's hard to keep up, but wow, is it entertaining. Anyway, so this is the end of the road, I think, for this video. I hope you enjoyed this. I wasn't really expecting to do videos like this, but I'm testing it out and seeing if this is interesting for you. So let me know down in the comments below if you like this kind of video from the channel from time to time. Not something we would do all the time. And what questions you'd like me to tackle next time around, if any. And then any other comments you had from this video. I realized I asked you a lot of questions, so hopefully there's just tons of comments and conversation going on down there. So, as always, if you are new to this channel, please hit that subscribe button for more videos like this, but also very different videos from this where I'm not just talking to you the whole time and sharing my thoughts. And YouTube wants you to watch this video next right here. They think it's just awesome. It's very different from this one, obviously, but it's connected to some of the stuff I said here, obviously, as well. Anyway, thanks for hanging out with me as I talked all day. Bye.